know, heard that song in some way thousands of times, and I still found myself not being able to tell Jay Perry to stop the song. So, just the way Crooklyn Part 2 makes me feel, just the way Enter the Stage, the whole album makes me feel, that song and your verse is Brooklyn. That is Brooklyn. I barely even spent a minute in Brooklyn. My family, my grandparents lived in Rockaway. I drove through Brooklyn and went to Sheepshead Bay to see like my great aunt, but I didn't spend any time in Brooklyn. And yet I knew when I heard those records and that verse that I was feeling Brooklyn. What zone, do you remember the zone you were in when you wrote that record?
Yeah, the Black Star record was a real natural thing. Mos Def is one of the most talented people I've ever worked with in my life. It's my brother. And I remember that record was as simple as Mos Def saying, yo, you know the P is still free, we should rock that. And that's it. And then we should take the hook from Stop the Violence and we should put that on P is still free. He was like, cool. We did that in a day. And you know, I think with the verse, I don't know, we was just on some, you know, on some Brooklyn shit, really. That's what we was on. The interesting thing about me being from Brooklyn, like because I came out with High Tech, sometimes people still even think that I'm from Cincinnati or something. My voice, the way that I approach the music, it doesn't feel like, you know, it's not that Brooklyn shit. It's not like, it don't feel like Biggie, you don't feel like Jay-Z, you don't even feel like Sky Zoo. But if you're a fan of mine, you know that Brooklyn has informed all my records. But the beautiful thing about it is that as much as I love Brooklyn, as much as it informed my records, I've still been able to not be associated with the point where it's like, if people like my music, they don't like it because they into New York rap. I don't really feel like I make classic New York rap records. I feel like I make good quality records, you know what I'm saying? I just so happen to be from New York, and so happens to inform what I do, but I don't think those records necessarily are defined by like the borough, the way it sounds. But the verses and the inspiration for the verses definitely are.
Not rapping it, but I know that's one verse you do know. Do you mind taking us through some of that verse? You can just say it, just for some people who may have shown up.
Definition?
Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York City, where they paint murals of Biggie and cats we trust. This ghetto fabulous life look pretty. What a pity, once it's still 50 cents. It's intense. Street sense is dominant, can't be covered with incense. My presence felt. My name is Kweli from the eternal reflection. People think your MC is shorthand for misconception. I meditate, set it straight, came to the conclusion that most of these cats is featherweight. Let me demonstrate. Walking the streets is like battling. Be careful with your body. You know karate, you think your soul is bulletproof like Sade. Acting like a bitch already, be a visionary, or maybe you could see your name in a column of obituary. Third grade teacher we've been talking about, I knew it amount to nothing. Neighbors like he was the quiet type who'd have thought they was frontin'. Talking loud like you on MC, talking loud like you on RCA. Get caught away with body parts and trays. See, MCA was on my brain, that's it. But you know what? Thank you. As I'm saying that verse, that's really what I was living. I was working in the bookstore. I was listening to a lot of Biggie. I was smoking a lot of 50 Cent cigars. You know what I'm saying? That's just what was on my mind. And then it was important that I let you know I had this group Reflection Eternal. That's like Quality from the Eternal Reflection. Like, that's just what was on my mind.
Wait, do you mind giving me a little more volume? Did you feel at the time like Reflection Eternal was your home and Black Star was your super group, or did you think of them as equally as groups you were in?
Yeah, Black Star, Reflection was first, even though the fans heard Black Star first. Black Star came to be because Mos Def enjoyed what we were doing with Reflection, and that's why High Tech is producing so much on the Black Star record. So with High Tech, I just found somebody who just fit my sound and just made me sound good. And you know, that's what it was. The Reflection Eternal album, you know, got put on hold. We were working hard on the Reflection album. That got put on hold because Black Star became this unstoppable phenomenon that we kind of stopped that and did that for a year. But once that died down, Reflection was just natural.
Well, so I don't know Mos very. I've only met Mos a couple of times, but I know that he's a character. Tell me about what it's like being the partner. You are Blacksmith CEO. You and Corey Smith, your business partner, about it, and you're an artist, of course, as well. Mos is this incredible artist who's like, I think you could say is among maybe the top hit rappers in terms of just pure artistry that just flows out of him. That said, I know that can sometimes make for interesting work environments when you're working with people who are just pure artists through and through. Tell me some working with Mos Def on the Black Star album stories.
Well, you know, me and Mos, we learn from each other because, like I was saying earlier, he's a more natural artist where he just comes up with stuff and it pops in his head, and I have to go and research and figure it out, you know? I think that as talented as Mos is, I work as hard as Mos is talented, you know, and I think that that's what it is. With Mos, he really doesn't believe in any of this. Any of the taking the pictures. You might run as a Mos Def and he'd be like, I'm not taking a picture with you.
I've seen that many times.
You know? Or he might put an album out and he's like, I don't want to put my name on the cover, or I'm not doing any interviews for the album. And it drives the record company apeshit. But guess what? They put the album out and he still gets nominated for a Grammy, or the album, people still buy the album, or people, you know, here's a good telling thing about Mos. Most of people talk about working with Mos as being difficult, but I want to tour with Rock the Bells, and I want to tour with Nas and Damian Marley, and Busta Rhymes and Big Boy in the big amphitheaters and everything. And then we did smaller clubs. There's me, Slum Village, Pete Rock, Slaughterhouse, Raekwon sometimes when we was able to make that work, right? And no disrespect to Guerrilla Union, and no disrespect to myself or anybody on that bill, but with the bill of Slaughterhouse, Slum Village, Talib Kweli, Pete Rock, and Slaughterhouse was promoting a record, and Raekwon's promoting a record. Mos Def is on the road. I was doing the Mos Def tour at the same time. He sold out every single venue. We didn't sell out every single venue. We sold out some of them. Mos Def sold out every single venue with no single out, no promotion. He's not on Twitter. He ain't letting you know. He just, you know what I'm saying? And he's been able to tailor his life to be like that, and that's something I've learned from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your time. I would go over his house, and he'd be playing piano for 2 hours, while the car would be downstairs waiting, and everybody going crazy. Everybody's like, what is he doing, this and that, and this? But then when he gets to the booth, and you realize what he was doing on the piano, how it informed what he was doing, it's like, wow. You know, you just gotta step back and let it be what he's gonna be. If you try to force him to be what you want him to be, it ain't gonna work for you.
How close are you guys as friends beyond business associates?
Mos is one. I don't see Mos Def as often as I would like to, but he's one of my best friends in the world. You know, our families know each other, our mothers hang out, and he's more than a friend. He's like a brother to me.